వెల్కమ్ టు TVASIA తెలుగు టాక్ షో విత్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్. మరి మన TVASIA తెలుగు టాక్ షో విత్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్ ఈ రోజు కూడా ఒక మంచి టాపిక్ తోటి మన ముందుకు వచ్చేస్తుందండి. మరి చాలా రోజులుగా చాలా యూస్ఫుల్ టాపిక్స్ తోటి మనం ఎవ్రీ వీక్ ఒక కొత్త ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ చూస్తున్నాము. ఈ వీక్ కూడా మరి ఆ టాపిక్ ఏంటి, ఏం డిస్కస్ చేయబోతున్నాం అనేది చూద్దాము. ఈ వీక్ వచ్చేసి మనం హౌ టు మేనేజ్ యువర్ సైడ్ హస్టిల్ అనే టాపిక్ గురించి డిస్కస్ అయిపోతున్నామండి. అట్లాగే మనతోటి వివరాలన్నీ చెప్పడానికి అనిల్ గాంధీ గారు కూడా వచ్చేసారు. అనిల్ గారు, వెల్కమ్ టు ద షో అండి. హౌ ఆర్ యూ?
థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ లక్ష్మి గారు. ఐఎమ్ వెరీ గుడ్, థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి.
సో మన అనిల్ గారు ఈ ట్యాక్స్ ప్లానింగ్ స్ట్రాటజీస్ లో ఎంత ఎక్స్పర్ట్ అనేది మన అందరికీ తెలుసండి. కాకపోతే ఎవరైనా కొత్తగా చూసే వాళ్ళు ఉంటే వాళ్ళ కోసం అని చెప్పేసి ఒక్కసారి చూద్దాము. So he has 15+ years of experience in finance profession as finance controller, CFO, and he holds a lot of other senior executive positions in major organizations like Amazon, Starbucks, PwC, and SunEdison. So he is helping his clients take advantage of tax planning opportunities and strategically setting up their businesses for success. So he has a wonderful team of CPAs, chartered accountants, and financial professionals as well. So please feel free to talk to AGFintax and you can have one-on-one call with them. They'll be happy to help you. So Anil Gandhi Garu is a CEO and founder of AGFintax. So he is very helpful andi. Thank you so much. Anil Garu, చెప్పాలండి, షో స్టార్ట్ చేసే ముందు మీరు ఏమైనా చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నారా?
లేదండి, వెరీ గుడ్ లక్ష్మి గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. థ్యాంక్స్ ఫర్ ద నైస్ ఇంట్రో. Yep. And as this is the tax season, May 17th is the tax deadline to file the tax returns. So yep, today's topic will help to some people who are having side business, like a side gig. So this will be really helpful for them on how to manage their books or what they should do it, to ensure they are doing it right tax reportings. So yep, let's get into the topic.
Yeah, sure, Andy. So many people do different things outside of their regular day job, either because of they need that extra cash or they want to make their pastime hobby into a mainstream money earning activity. So most of them are at loss at how to account for the money earned, what taxes they might owe, and most importantly, how to save their hard-earned money and make it grow. So this pandemic is all the more reason for people to hustle, and that's why today's topic is an important one. So please shed light on this, Andy.
Yes, and Lakshmi Garu, you are on point. So in the last 1 year, because of the pandemic, many people are working from home. So which gave them a lot of time to explore a lot of new things. So some people are working, some people has taken some extra works, part-time jobs, part-time businesses, and if whatever they're doing as a part-time, as a side gig on top of the regular W2 job. So today's session, we'll talk more about what is to be done for that. In general, with my experience, whenever people have some extra time, they try to do that extra work to make that extra dollar, which may be helpful to repay their student loan or to repay their mortgages, home mortgages quickly, or to even to save money for their child education. On top of it, there are also some people who work because they have the passion. They want to work on something, but in their regular job, they're not finding a time to do that, or they're not getting the opportunity to work on their passion. And at the end, whatever you are making money, that will help you, the extra money, that will help you to build wealth over the time. And who doesn't want extra money in the pocket? Everyone wants it. But the only thing is you need to have that extra time. You need to have that attitude, yes, to take that extra step to work and to save money. And whatever, with a lot of efforts, whoever is doing those extra, whoever is putting that extra time, really, they put a lot of effort. It's not an easy, because they are trying to work on top of their 8 hours or 9 hours of job. After so much of extra efforts, they taking precautions or taking care of their bookkeeping and also taking care of the taxes properly or not are very important. And many cases, what I noticed is they don't maintain the proper records and they will be paying a lot of taxes. And this is the tax season. I really want to focus on this because now people think about the taxes. Hey, I made so much of money in the last 1 year, but I have to pay a lot of taxes now. So now this is the time when people are thinking about taxes now. I want to give some guidance to our audience, our viewers, so that at least for the next year, they can start working on, they can start working in more appropriate way so that they don't need to worry at the end of the next year, when they file the tax returns next year.
Okay. Keeping books in order is a must, no matter how small is the business. But can you please elaborate on how taxes can be a major issue?
Yes, of course. Let's say the business has taken off unexpectedly. I have seen many business owners whose business grown substantially in the last 1 year, or even many people are doing a lot of stock trading also. They have done a lot of, they made a lot of money over the stock trading, or they are doing some part-time job so that their income levels are more. So it's because when they got the extra money, they're very happy. But now at the time of tax pay, when they file the tax returns, then they feel a big tax bill and they get surprised. And there, no one is ready to, no one loves to pay a lot of taxes. So, and on top of all this, IRS also levy penalties and interest because you have not done the advance tax payments for the last 1 year. When you are making the money, you are enjoying it, but you are also obligated to pay taxes throughout the year. Okay. So like example, at the same time, we also notice that some business owners spend some money for the business purpose, but they are not able to deduct that money. An example, if for your business, you might have spent some $2,000 to buy an inventory, maybe at Home Depot, but you don't have proper bill to substantiate when IRS comes for an audit, or when IRS picks for your file for the further review. If you don't have a proper proof, that the deduction will be disallowed. It means your income will go up now. So now what you are going to do now in this scenario? So even after a lot of hard work, you earn money, you have some allowed, eligible, legitimate expenses are there, which you want to deduct it, but you are not able to deduct because you don't have a proper documentation. So it's very important, and what we are going to do about it, we will discuss.
Yes, that's the answer we are eagerly waiting to know, Andy. So what are the basic steps to keep in mind to avoid tax problems?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Let's break it down further. So what happens is, if you are earning a W-2 salary, every month, whenever you get a salary, you see there is an income and there is a withholding taxes. But if you are self-employed, or if you are having a side business, you don't have that withholding tax concept, because whenever you do some sales or whenever you offer a service, you make money, but no one withhold the money. So it is the obligation or onus on the individual tax return preparer or self-employed person to pay taxes in advance on quarterly basis, on periodic basis. And even it can be, even you're doing a side business of babysitting, or even you're selling cookies. What are you selling? Some online, some materials on the online, or maybe in Amazon, or if you're doing a freelancer job. Whatever you do, whatever the side business it is, doesn't matter. A self-employed person or individual is obligated to pay taxes in advance throughout the year, because there is no withholding taxes. The other most important thing is, it's not only about federal income taxes and state income taxes advance payment. You are also obligated to pay in advance self-employment taxes, which is 15.3% on the money whatever you made from the business. I mean, here, when you run a business, whatever you made means it's a net income. It's not a sales, but after all your expenses, whatever money you made, you are obligated to pay taxes, federal taxes, income taxes, or state income taxes, and also social security taxes, which is 15.3%. All these tax bills look like a snowball. As you are adding one, it is like a snowball. So what we recommend to our viewers is, whenever you made a sale, try to make, based on your expected profit from the business, every month or whenever there is a business happen, try to transfer some 20% to 30% to your savings account on periodic basis. So, and name this account as a tax savings account, like my tax account, tax current account, or tax savings account. So that at the end of year, you are already saved the money for the taxes. If not, you need to pay a lot of taxes at the end of the tax year, and you might not even have that money. You might have invested that money somewhere, maybe in the real estate, maybe in the stock market, but you have a strong, you have a tight deadline of paying the taxes by April 15th in general, or otherwise for this is May 17th. So you don't have an obligation, sorry, you don't have the flexibility of extending the tax payment timeline. But you have to pay your taxes by the given deadline. So start saving the money aside, start keeping money aside so that you can pay the taxes easily.
Got it, Andy. So what are the self-employment taxes, Andy?
Yes, that's a very relevant question. So self-employment taxes it consists of two parts: social security, and also the Medicare taxes. And this is for the individuals who work for themselves. In general, the total social security taxes, self-employment taxes, are 15.3%. Out of that, 12.4% is social security, and 2.9% is called Medicare taxes. So every person, whoever is earning, an individual person, self-employed person, or a W2 employer, W2 employee, also obligated to pay these taxes. But there are, if you are working on a W2, 50% of your share, so you contribute only 50%, your employer contributes 50%. But if you are self-employed, you have to take care of the entire 15.3% from your pocket, and this is on top of your federal taxes, state income taxes.
Is there a limit on which these taxes can be levied, and how can they be calculated?
Correct. So they for the previous year, because you are filing taxes for the last year, I want to give a quote for what number for what was for the last year. For the year 2020, the maximum amount, the entire wages or your earnings up to $137,700, you are obligated to pay social security taxes, which is 15.3%. But for this year onwards, for 2021 onwards, it has an inflation adjustment, and you need to pay taxes up to $142,800, $142,800. So is what you up to that extent, you need to pay social security taxes. After that, you don't need to pay social security taxes. But there is there is another element called 2.9%. It's a Medicare taxes that you have to pay taxes on your entire earnings as a self-employed individual. So 12.4%, you have a limitation of income threshold, which is $142,800, but 2.9% Medicare taxes you have to pay on your incomes. And how do you calculate? There is a form called Schedule SE. When you file your Form 1040, which is your individual tax return, there is a separate form which is Form Schedule SE. You need to fill and submit it. When you keep the numbers, if you can fill the numbers, how much money you made, automatically the calculations will come in for your social security tax and the Medicare taxes.
Thanks, Andy. So who are liable to pay this self-employment tax?
Okay. So you must pay self-employment taxes and file Schedule SE along with your tax return if you meet any of those two conditions. Number one, your net earnings from your self-employment is more than $400 or more, or you are a church employee. Our church employee income with a more than $108. Actually, there is a number of $108.28 or more. This is an act. I don't know why there is an exclusive statement given for the church employee, but this is what it is. If a church employee income is more than $108.28, then they need to file self-employment taxes form. And for the individual, it's a $400. And how you do it? When if you're an individual, when you're filing your tax return, you do calculation of your net earnings from a form called Schedule C. Any small business owners has to file Schedule C if they're self-employed in that Schedule C, they need to calculate what is the total sales, what are their expenses, what was the net earnings from their business. On those net earnings, the person is liable to pay social security taxes and also Medicare taxes. So this is how it has to be calculated.
So what about the advanced taxes you mentioned?
So the US tax system itself is a progressive and pay as you go the system. It's like you say that, hey, I will pay the taxes at the end of the year. No, that is wrong. You have to pay taxes throughout the year. Like I said, if you are a W-2 employee, employer is obligated to deduct taxes every month. So that if you see your W-2 or if you see your pay, you see there is an income, there is a tax. But if you're an individual business owner, you are obligated to pay taxes on your income. And income means what income? It can be interest, dividend, salary, or self-employment income, capital gains, or if you get any prizes and awards, or if you're in a business where you are doing a consulting or any side gig, whatever you do, if you are making some income, you need to pay estimated tax payments in advance throughout the year on periodic basis, so that you can avoid interest and penalties at the end of the year when you file your tax returns.
So when should I start paying estimated taxes?
Okay. So in general, if your estimated taxes, you need to pay when you have more than $1,000 tax liability when you file your taxes after adjusting your withholding taxes. So like example, you have a tax liability of $4,000 and your withholding taxes maybe from your W-2 employment. They have done a withholding taxes of $2,500. So you have an obligation of $1,500, which you need to pay as a tax. If it's more than $1,000, you are expected to pay estimated advance tax payments during the periodically throughout the year.
How can one figure out these taxes?
Individuals, including sole proprietors, partners, and S corp shareholders, generally use a form called Form 1040-ES to figure estimated taxes. And when you want to calculate the estimated taxes, you must consider what is your total gross income, what are your deductions, what are your other taxes, what are the other credits. You need to consider all those parameters. Then you derive what is your tax liability. Once you get what is the annual tax liability, if you can forecast, if you can see how much money you need to owe to IRS, that amount has to be deducted in 4 quarters. It has to be paid in 4 quarters. So every quarter you are obligated to pay 25% of your total tax liability, which you have to pay at the end of the year. And that is the one way. Other way, you can take the last year tax return tax liability. Open your last year tax return. See what is your total tax liability. What is your total tax you pay to IRS? Total amount divided by 4. Every quarter you need to pay that amount. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. So last year tax return is a very good guide as a reference to decide how much tax liability you have for that quarter.
So when and how to pay these taxes, Andy?
Okay. So if as I mentioned, you are obligated to pay taxes every quarter, and there is 2 ways. How you pay means you can just go to the online portal. You can go to the IRS portal and you can do an advanced tax payment, estimated tax payments. You can go there, log in, and can just do the payment. And otherwise, if you are already working somewhere, if you are working for somewhere on W-2, you have to submit a W-4 form, which is for withholding taxes. There also you can do some adjustments so that you are paying more taxes to IRS on quarterly basis or throughout the year for the side business what you have. So you have 2 options. Directly go into the online website and do the payment. Otherwise, go and adjust your W-4 form with your employer.
Okay, I got it. So thank you so much, Anil Garu. So far we are discussing so much information. So let's take a short break and come back in.
న్యూజెర్సీలో ఇల్లు కొనాలని కానీ అమ్మాలని కానీ అనుకుంటున్నారా? మీ నమ్మకమైన నేస్తంగా మీ ఇంటి క్రయ విక్రయాలను చేసి పెడుతోంది మీ లోవి రియల్టీ గ్రూప్. వేలాది డాలర్ల మీ కష్టార్జితాన్ని, ఎంతో విలువైన సమయాన్ని ఆదా చేస్తూ కేవలం $990 నామమాత్రపు ఫీజుతో ఖచ్చితమైన సంతృప్తికరమైన లావాదేవీలను చేసి పెట్టే రియల్ ఏజెన్సీ లోవి. అంతేకాదు, మీరు కొన్న ఇంటి మీద మినిమం 1% క్యాష్ బ్యాక్ మీ క్లోజింగ్ కాస్ట్ లో పొందగలరు. మరిన్ని వివరాలకు ప్లీజ్ విజిట్ www.lovihomes.com. కాంటాక్ట్ 9083049621 or 9083371289.
Don't spend more money in selling your home. Instead, make more. For all your real estate needs, trust only Lovi. Lovi Realty Group makes it easy to sell your home. The Lovi Sale by Owner offers the same services as a realtor does for a fraction of the price. For only $990, we list your home, handle digital marketing, take calls, and schedule home showings for you. Planning to buy a house? Lovi has the best tools and agents to make your journey happy. We offer home buyers rebate of 1% or more cash back towards the closing. Visit our website to learn more about our programs, www.lovihomes.com. For more details, please contact 908-304-9621 or 908-337-1289.
వెల్కమ్ బ్యాక్ టు టీవీ ఏషియా తెలుగు టాక్ షో విత్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్. సో మరి మనం టాపిక్ కంటిన్యూ చేస్తామండి అనిల్ గారు. సో నౌ బై వెన్ షుడ్ దీస్ ఎస్టిమేటెడ్ taxes should be paid అండి?
For estimated tax purpose, the total tax liability for the year is divided into 4 payment periods. So the estimated tax payments are due as follows. Like the first one, for the first quarter, like January, February, March, it's due on April 15th. For the second quarter, it's June 15th. Third quarter, September 15th. And for the last quarter, the due date is January 15th. So as I mentioned, you can go into the online IRS portal and you can do the payment. Otherwise, there is a form called 1040ES, which you can fill it and you can send it to by mail also, or otherwise. But I recommend to use EFTPS, which is Electronic Federal Tax Payment System, which is an online service system by IRS to do those payments, which are more prompt and which is very easy to do that.
Earlier in this session, you mentioned about keeping track of expenses in order to qualify those expenses as eligible business expenses. So how can it be done, and will proper bills or vouchers suffice?
So having correct and proper documentation is always helpful. To make things easy, I always recommend to use the business bank account or separate dedicated bank account to do all these business related expenses. And if you commingle your personal and business expenses, it is much tedious job to split them when you're filing your taxes. You are making the things more complicated. Rather, try to use only one dedicated account for all the business expenses only, so that it is much easier to file your taxes and also less time consumption when you file your taxes, because you don't think about the taxes or you don't think about preparing the financials till filing of tax return. So that throughout the year you might be missing something. You might not remember. When you look into your bank transactions, you might not remember whether this is a business or not, and you carry a risk of making some business expenses you might not be picking up and you might not be deducting it. So I always recommend to have a separate account, and also ensure that for every expense have a proper supporting documentation. you have an agreement or invoice or voucher or receipt. You should have some supporting documentation to prove that it is genuine and you are not, so that even IRS comes up at any time, you have the supporting documentation. Every year, I strongly recommend you to create one folder in your laptop. Within that folder, save every supporting documentation. Whenever you go, wherever you go, just use your mobile, take the copy of your receipts, just save it. So don't think that I don't need my receipts. No, you need receipts for every expense you spend.
So where will these expenses be shown while filing taxes? So can a single person also claim business expenses?
Good question, Andy. As long as you have a side business and as long as you are incurring some business related expenses and they are legitimate and you have a supporting documentation, definitely you can claim your expenses. But you don't need, some people think that, okay, it's a small number, it's okay, why do you want to claim? It's a small number, why do you want to claim? Nothing, no need to think like that. As long as they are legitimate, as long as you have supporting documentation, you can file them. When you file your business tax information through your Schedule C, when you're filing your tax return, there itself we can show all your expenses also. So just like example, if you have a corporate returns like S corporation, C corporation, you have a separate tax return where you show all your expenses. In the same way for our individual also, you can show all your expenses, but you need to show it under Schedule C, because we are talking about side business. I'm not talking about a big corporation. Today the entire show is only for the side businesses. If you're doing some part-time jobs, freelancer, or maybe some doing a daycare jobs or anything, if you're doing any side business, so you show your income under Schedule C. All these expenses also can be claimed under Schedule C.
So please provide us a list of expenses that can be claimed as business expense.
Yes, you can, as I said, as long as they're business related, legitimate, and if we can prove that you really incurred, these are not fictitious, so then you can claim those expenses. Like example, if you're incurring some advertisement and promotion expenses, car, truck, vehicle mileage, maintenance, depreciation expenses, commissions, fees and membership, or if you pay some money to your tax accountant for filing a tax return, bookkeeper, paying utilities, meals expenses, or when you need to incur some business expenses when you are in the travel. Like I was in a travel for the last 10 days I visited to different countries, different states. Those are I met many business owners. So whatever expenses I incurred during the entire my trip, I claim this as an expense because they are business related. In the same way, this anything legitimate, if you think that they are business and they are normal and regular expenses, there should not be abnormal, and those expenses you need to incur to run your business. So those expenses only can be claimed.
So in order to keep track of all these expenses, there should be a proper bookkeeping system in place, right?
Yes, you placed it very well, correct. So definitely, yes, definitely there is an effective way of record, there is always a way for effective record keeping system. Whatever money you are spending, every month, try to spend some time to summarizing what are the expenses you spend, what are the receipts you have, so that you don't have any pressure to consolidate all your expenses at the end of the year. Rather, try to spend time whenever periodical, maybe 2 weeks once, weekly once, or monthly once. Try to assemble all your expenses, gather all your expenses, receipts, bank proofs, what are the payment proofs you have. Try to do that, so that you will not have any struggle at the end of the year. And you maintain a proper track of all your expenses. Don't commingle your business expenses versus personal expenses. As long as you maintain it separately, it's very much easier to maintain the documentation.
Okay, got it. So what did you mean by the unnecessary tax and bookkeeping grind?
Got it. So generally during the tax season, I noticed business owners go through a lot of stress because they have to struggle so much to list down what are the expenses they spent throughout the last year, and also they pay a lot of taxes. So there's a lot of on top of the tax payment burden, they also worried more about the bookkeeping. So if you are, so what I say is, from the beginning, try to maintain the books properly and try to do the regular tax payments in a periodic way, like estimated tax payments on the periodic way, so that you can avoid the last minute bookkeeping, and also you can avoid last minute tax surprises, big tax bill surprises also. So that it's the what I'm proposing is, what I'm recommending everyone is, don't think about taxes at the end of the year. Think about the taxes and bookkeeping throughout the year, so that you will not have the stress at the end of the year.
Understood. So any important documents you would suggest to record keeping purposes? And
yes, so you might want to keep any tax records or any payment receipts or tax any agreements, invoices or bank statements, and also your tax returns also. You need to maintain the entire documentation for at least 3 years, because after once you file your tax returns, IRS has a time to come back to you for audit or inquiry within 3 years. So that just be proactive, take precautions, ensure that you have supporting documentation for every expense you are claiming in your tax return, and also a proof for whatever the income you are showing in your tax return.
So as always, what is your valuable suggestions from this session?
Yes. So when you are enjoying in the last 1 year, when you are having an extra income by doing a side income, by doing a side business, or doing maybe some freelancer work, whatever you are doing, and if you are enjoying, yes, but at the same time, if you also take the responsibility of taking the proper records and also and also doing the estimated tax payments on time, will help you to reduce your stress level during the tax season. And if you think that maintaining your maintaining your records is not your cup of tea, please don't hesitate to reach out to a tax professional or an accountant. Just go to an accountant. They may help you in maintaining all your documentation, so that you don't need to worry. You don't need to take a lot of stress. When you're making a lot of money, it's okay to pay small fee to an accountant who can take care of your bookkeeping and also file your taxes. So don't compromise. Either you do on your own, otherwise go to a professional. But don't compromise on not maintaining don't compromise on bookkeeping or doing the estimated tax payments on time. This will cause you a big pain over the time. And that's it. And as this is the tax season, I know that I talk to many individuals who has self-employment, who are self-employed or having a side business. I talk to every day-to-day basis. I talk to them, and the main problem what they say is, oh, I have to go through entire last year transactions. I have to pay a lot of taxes. So the only way to avoid is plan in advance. Do proactively, maintain throughout the year. Do the plan and implementation. Maintain a proper record keeping. You will be happy at the end of the year. That's it from my side, Lakshmi Garu.
So, sir, this is all about today's session, and thank you so much, Anil Garu, for providing a lot of information. And Malli, next week, tax planning strategy topic toti malli kaluddamu. Appudu varaku have a wonderful day, wonderful week ahead, and thank you so much, TV Asia Telugu. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshmi Garu. Thank you very much. Thanks to TV Asia Telugu also. Thank you.
మలబార్ గోల్డ్ అండ్ డైమండ్స్ వారి గోల్డ్ ప్రామిస్ తో మరింత షైన్ అవ్వండి. మీరు చేసే గోల్డ్ మరియు డైమండ్స్ కొనుగోలుపై బంగారు నాణ్యాలను ఖచ్చితంగా పొందండి. చక్కటి ధరలతో ఆకర్షించే ప్రత్యేకమైన జ్యువెలరీ కలెక్షన్ ను చూడండి. బంగారు నాణ్యాలను ఖచ్చితంగా పొందండి. ఓక్ ట్రీ రోడ్, న్యూ జెర్సీ లేక వెస్ట్ డెవన్ అవెన్యూ, షికాగోలో మలబార్ గోల్డ్ అండ్ డైమండ్స్ ను విజిట్ చేయండి. మలబార్ గోల్డ్ అండ్ డైమండ్స్, సెలబ్రేట్ ద బ్యూటీ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్.
న్యూజెర్సీలో ఇల్లు కొనాలని కానీ అమ్మాలని కానీ అనుకుంటున్నారా? మీ నమ్మకమైన నేస్తంగా మీ ఇంటి క్రయ విక్రయాలను చేసి పెడుతోంది మీ లోవి రియల్టీ గ్రూప్. వేలాది డాలర్ల మీ కష్టార్జితాన్ని, ఎంతో విలువైన సమయాన్ని ఆదా చేస్తూ కేవలం $990 నామమాత్రపు ఫీజుతో ఖచ్చితమైన, సంతృప్తికరమైన లావాదేవీలను చేసిపెట్టే రియల్ ఏజెన్సీ లోవి. అంతేకాదు, మీ